Wednesday show, Wednesday show, Wednesday show. It's a Wednesday, and a New Year's Day show. Come and join us, or you'll cry now, boo-hoo-hoo. Alton, billions of people in the world is crying, and they can't figure out why. This is why, because they're not here watching the Wednesday show. Oh yeah, hello everybody. Right now we have nobody, but time will tell. It is a New Year's show. It is also a Wednesday show. It's also just a show. So make sure you join us. We have some exciting things to talk about. We are going to be going through and talking about a lot of stuff today, including some extremely exciting things. Dapper Vanta crew, did you not read the entire announcement? We're going to be talking about the entire announcement in just a minute, but thank you. But I feel like you may have missed the most crucial part of that cover announcement. I wonder if a lot of people missed the most crucial part of the cover announcement now. We're going to be talking about it, Joe, though, in just a second here. Oh, there's my fuel rod. I was at the park today. Well, so my friend and I went to go do mini golf. Mini golf was ridiculously long today over at Fantasia Gardens. So then we went over and we parked at Ticket Transportation Center. She has an annual pass that has blockout dates. And so she couldn't get into Magic Kingdom. So I said, well, let's go to Ticket Transportation Center. And then we did Polynesian, Grand Floridian, Contemporary. We ate at Contemporary. I ate at Contemporary. She watched me eat. And then I went over to the other. But while we were in Polynesian, I was like, oh, I'm going to switch out my fuel rod because I know I ran, the battery down yesterday during Epcot fireworks. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have it. But now I found it. I don't even know where to put this right here. Let's just do it right there. Hopefully future Brents will remember about that. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. You saw it on Instagram. Oh, yeah. Okay, guys, we are officially in the year 2025. Isn't that crazy? We started doing this podcast in 2009. We are officially like 16 years into this thing now. I mean, not 16 years on the dot, but it's crazy that we will hit 16 years of doing all this craziness. And since this thing changed my life later on. But also while I'm here, should I check? Yes, I do. I do have that pin. I'm double checking my rescue as well. The pin that we traded for Alex, I have it. Okay, let's get this party started. We are going to start the 802nd episode plus the very first episode of 2025 right now in 5, 4, 3, 2. Hello, everyone, and Happy New Year. Welcome to 2025. This is the Wednesday show. This is episode 802. Today is January 1st, 2025. And I'm your host, as always, Brent Dodge. What do I usually say? Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 802nd episode of the Wednesday show. Today is January 1st, 2025. I'm your host, as always, Brent Dodge. Hello. Today, we're going to be doing a recap of everything that happened at Disney in 2024, but also we're going to be pivoting around and taking a look into the future of 2025. But of course, before we get to all that, let's talk about our news for the week. And boy, do we have some news for the week. Okay, so first off, thank you everyone out there who's been joining us for our Saturday in the Park. If you didn't already know, every single Saturday we do a live broadcast from my YouTube channel at 1 o'clock Eastern time. You never know where we are going to be broadcasting from, but I promise you we will always be broadcasting from Disney. So make sure you join us every single Saturday at 1 o'clock. And to make sure that you don't miss it, make sure that you are subscribed to my YouTube channel. We are currently at 8,159 subscribers. If you look, it's like a little wave towards the end there because YouTube started doing purges of bots and stuff. So is there a way for me to be in it? Well, kind of. No, not really. So if you look, there's like the drop down and then it goes up and then it drops down again. So I'm hoping, because they said it was going to be during the month of December that they were going to do this little purge. I'm hoping that it's over now that we're in the new year. But we are on the way back up. So hopefully we can get this number up to at least 8,160 today. But also, we're going to manifest it right now, 16,400 or more 365 days from now. We doubled our subscribers last year. The goal again is to double the subscribers once again. And while we're on the topic here, because we may as well talk about a lot of stuff here right now. Last year, before we get into the biggest announcement of all, last year we doubled our subscriber count. We doubled our view count on YouTube. We did a lot of doubling throughout the year. Now, if you joined me on January 1st, well, actually it was not January 1st last year, but it was January something, but it was at the start of the year. You probably heard me talk a little bit about how my goal for the end of the year was to get onto the press pass for Disney before 2024 was done. I failed miserably, not miserably. I just unfortunately did not get in. But the goal, once again, is to get onto that press pass by the end of the year. The other goal that I had at the start of the year, which was successful, is I said by the end of the year, I want to have it so maybe, just maybe, I can have it so we have a brand new book out. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am very proud to say not only is my new book out, but as you can see right here, it is currently #1 in new releases in Florida travel guides. What? So just yesterday around noon, I was able to finally get the book up and loaded onto Kindle. So if you have a Kindle or if you have the Kindle app, you can purchase the book now. My goal is right now we are #1 in Florida travel. I want to hit #1 in US travel, and then we're going to go try to conquer the entire world and have it so we can be the #1 new release travel book in the entire world. But we've conquered the state of Florida. Let's try to conquer the entire US in these sales. So right now we are number 11. No. It went down a little bit. Number 14 in sales for the country for the US travel, but we are #1 in Florida. So keep on spreading the word. If you've purchased a copy, thank you so much. If you have not, I highly recommend you checking it out. And I know some people are out there are waiting for the physical copy, and I get that too. But if you know anyone who is interested in picking up my brand new book, please send them over. Or, just a simple share on Instagram stories or Facebook. It really goes a long way. Just make sure you tag me in it, because then I'll share it too. So thank you everyone out there who has purchased the book. Thank you everyone out there who's been leaving reviews. Thank you. I also, another little big announcement, we also have it so I have the physical copies are currently being printed. Actually, you know what? Let me look up the status of it right now. Few details. And it says that they're still in the production stage. So the book is being printed right now as we speak. But then what's going to happen is we're going to go forward and have it so those books will be in your hands. The physical copies of the books will be in your hands sometime in the near future. But yeah, big news. We're going to talk a little bit more about it as we go through here. But let's get started. We are going to continue, and we're already in it. As always, this is where we're going. As always, tonight's episode is sponsored by our Patreon pals. Patreon pals. They will give you a splinter, just like wood. Okay, let's get this party started. While we go through here, we're going to do a recap of 2004 in Disney, and then also go into 2005. Is the chat working? It looks like someone just messaged me saying the chat's not working. Is the chat working, or I don't know. Right now, we have not gotten a new message in about 6 minutes, so that's why I'm kind of. Oh, Facebook popped up. Hi, Christine. How you doing? Okay, it is working. Okay, someone just sent me a message saying chat's not working, but maybe it's on that person's end. I don't know. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to do a recap of 2004. We're going to go look at 2005 while we go through and talk about this. If you guys have any questions out there, let me know. But while we are starting this off, we're going to talk about a lot of different things that happened in 2004. And I want to know right off the bat, what was your favorite thing that happened with Disney? It can be Disney parks, Disney movies, Disney TV shows. Did I say 2004 to 2005? 2024 to 2025. I apologize. Um, but we are going to go through and do that. Actually, we could do an episode about 2004 to 2005, like a way back episode. A blast from past, the blast from a blast. So yeah, let me know in the comments while we get started here. What was your favorite thing that happened? It can be either in movies, it can be TV shows, it can be Disney parks, it can be Disney Cruise Line, whatever you want to say. Let me know in the chat room what it is. I have a list that we're going to go through, and while we go through this, if you guys start talking about other things, I will go through and kind of chime in with your stuff as well. So let's start us off with Tiana's Bayou Adventure, because that's why I'm wearing this hat, because I figured we're going to talk about it. Oh, and actually, that's the first thing that popped up. Tiana's Bayou, I love it so much more than I thought I would. Let's talk about Tiana's Bayou Adventure. So first off, Tiana's Bayou Adventure would open up earlier in the year here in Walt Disney World, and also open up in Disneyland this year as well. And overall, I thought it was a great ride. I think it's a great ride. I think the audiomechanics are one of the most impressive things I've ever seen in my life. Whenever I go on it, I am just in awe of the fluidity of Tiana and Mama Odie and Lewis. I mean, every single character in there looks so realistic. It literally looks like a cartoon has come to life, and it's unbelievable. I think it is one of the greatest re-themes that Disney has done. I know a lot of people are not upset or not the happiest with it. I am very happy with it. Splash Mountain was without a doubt one of my favorite attractions of all time. But when I saw those audiomechanics, I was like, okay, I think I can live with this brand new theme. And I have gone on the attraction multiple times. Actually, you know what? We can just look it up. How many times have I gone on Tiana's Bayou Adventure in not in just 2024, in my entire life, because I have not gone yet this year. And this year's only a few days old, but still, not a few days old. It's still literally within the first 24 hours. I've been on Tiana's Bayou Adventure 12 times so far. I thought I was going to be able to get on more, but unfortunately that virtual queue, and I don't get to Magic Kingdom before 1 o'clock a lot of times. And so because of that, I just have the worst luck. And I know someone out there is going to say, well, you know, you can get on at 7 a.m. too. And I do not even know what a 7 a.m. is. I finish work around 2 o'clock, and then I come home and I write, and I am up until about 3 or 4, depending on the day. So usually writing or editing books or videos and whatnot. So, but yeah, overall, Tiana's Bayou Adventure, I really enjoyed it at Walt Disney World. I am very excited to check it out in Disneyland later this month. Later on this month, I will be going out to Disneyland for the Run Disney Race Weekend. So my goal is to go out there and check out Tiana's Bayou Adventure. That is actually one of my top priorities when I am out there. I mean, I guess running the races are too. But one of my top priorities is actually being able to experience the brand new attraction out there, just to kind of have an idea of compare and contrast. Because if you ever did Splash Mountain in Walt Disney World, it was very different than what it was in Disneyland. Like, it was the same ride, but it was completely different, if that makes sense whatsoever. So I'm very excited to see what are the similarities and differences. I have not looked at anything online because I want to be surprised. I'm one of those people who I'm like, if I know I'm going to go experience something soon, I'm going to wait as long as I possibly can to experience it for the first time in person. Even the Incredicoaster, I did not watch a single video about that because I was like, oh, I'm going to go there pretty soon. And then it was like 4 years later when I finally got on it, and I was blown away. But Tiana's Bayou Adventure, I love it so much more than I thought I would. I 100% agree. I do think Princess and the Frog is one of the best Disney films. I love it. It's got the best music, in my opinion, of almost any Disney film. We're doing a whole bracket series about that. We'll talk about that sometime in the very near future. But I've always loved Tiana's Bayou Adventure, Princess and the Frog. I've loved the characters. The only complaint that I have about Tiana's Bayou Adventure is I wish they would have a little bit more of Prince Naveen in there. Because I think if they had Prince Naveen on the journey with them, I think it would have been a little bit more entertaining. But that is the only thing about the attraction I'm not a huge fan of. Overall, I think everything else is great. We have Naveen at the end, but We need more to mean. Okay, going also just a little bit down from the bayou, also in Frontierland, we had a closure this year. Aw. But we also got an opening. That's right, the Country Bear Jamboree would close up in January of 2024. And then it would open up about 6 months later as the Country Bear Musical Jamboree. Now, the Country Bear Jamboree was a fan favorite for years and years and years. However, the only people who were going to it were people like myself who go to the parks quite often, and they understand the humor and they understand the nostalgia, and they just always love Zeke and Zed and Ted and Fred and a bear named Tennessee. But the Country Bear Jamboree was one of those things that it just wasn't being visited a lot. And it was one of those when they announced that it was going to be closing down, I was not too shocked because I was going to the Country Bear Jamboree about once to twice a month, and every time I would go there, it'd be like me and like 10 other people in the theater. Fast forward a few months to the Country Bear Musical Jamboree, where we got a brand new look of the Country Bears, but it's the same bears that we all know and love. But they also got a new updated look and a new updated sound. So instead of singing the classic country songs that we always knew them to sing, now they are singing different Disney songs with a little country twang to it. So we got different things like Fixer Upper from Frozen. I don't know why I started with that one. Try Everything from Zootopia. We got I Can Show You the World from Aladdin, Kiss the Girl from Little Mermaid, Remember Me, and so many other songs. Overall, I think the change was probably needed, even though I do like the original one. I think this version is really fun. Actually, it is one of the few attractions that I've done so far in the year 2025, because I do think that the new revamp of the attraction is just a really fun play on what we already knew and loved of the Country Bear Jamboree. And each song that they chose, I feel like actually matches the Bears' personality that we knew and loved from 1971 all the way up until the start of 2024. In addition to that, going right down the road from the Country Bear Jamboree is another closure, but unfortunately, this closure has stayed. Oh, the Frontierland Shooting Arcade, an opening day attraction, is now gone. What? Yeah, so the Country Bear or the Frontierland Shooting Arcade had been around since October 1st, 1971. It would close up earlier in 2024, and unfortunately, it just would disappear forever. There's going to be a DVC booth there, or a DVC lounge there, but we still haven't seen where, or not where. We know where. We haven't seen when it's going to come up yet, though. So hopefully sometime in the near future, one of my DVC friends will let me go in there, explore it with them. But until that actually happens, the Frontierland Shooting Arcade is no more. One of the funny things, though, was it closed up, and then I went to Disneyland in September after it closed up. They still have their Frontierland Shooting Arcade. So I played theirs, but over there you still have to pay. While the one here, you did not have to pay for like the last 6 or 7 years. So it was a sad day. Okay, let's keep on going through. Keep on letting me know in the comments what was your favorite things about 2024. What are you looking forward to in 2025? Let's go to our next one here, which is a pretty big one, because at the end of last year, now 2 years ago, at the end of 2023, we got a massive opening that happened over in Epcot, because there was all these construction walls for years and years and years and years. And finally, all of Epcot was open with the exception of one little area. And that little area would eventually open up in 2024. Of course, we were talking about Communicore Hall, along with the meet and greet areas for Mickey, Minnie, and Goofy. And of course, the Celebración Encanto show, which I personally love. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this before we go on to our next one here. So first off, the Communicore Hall. I just wish people would read Disney's statements before being so upset by things. The day that they opened up Communicore Hall was in between festivals, and people were mad. Like they were really, really mad. They said, this is not themed at all. It doesn't have any personality. It's just a blank building, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, but in the official announcement for Communicore Hall, they said the main purpose of the building was going to be a spot for a central area for the festivals. And then when that wasn't going to go on, it was going to be a lounge area. And I was like, I don't understand why people did not read but a lot of people did not read. Luckily, though, when the festivals came around, people started to get really excited about what you could find inside there. Because not only could we have different things like the mac and cheese, which was delicious from Food and Wine, you could also have a gingerbread cookie spot during the Festival of the Holidays. And then on top of that, we also had a lot of merchandise going through that area. And then in the Festival of the Holidays, we also got the gingerbread spaceship Earth, which, in my opinion, is one of the coolest things of all time. I personally absolutely love it. I think it's one of the greatest additions that Disney has done for the holiday season in a very long time. But overall, I think Community Core Hall is okay in my book. In addition to that, I always love the old meet and greet area for Mickey, Minnie, and Goofy. The reason that we have Mickey, Minnie, and Goofy there is Donald is not around because Donald has always done meet and greets over in Mexico because the three Caballeros. So it just makes sense that it's just those three. But with the new meet and greet area, we have a few new hidden Mickeys. We've got a few really cool details. But overall, we have a new spot where you can actually go through and you can meet all three characters, one after another after another. And personally, I think that's just the way that they should do these character meet and greets. When you want to see a lot of characters, it's nice to wait in one line to meet multiple characters. So I think that's a great addition. But the starring attraction of this entire area is the brand new Celebration Encanto show. This brand new show was supposed to last until August. People don't really remember that, but it was only supposed to go until August. They said, oh, it's going to be like a temporary thing, and then we're going to bring in a new show, and then after that, we're going to bring in a new show. It was going to be like a rotating, like every 3 to 4 months, we would get a brand new show at this stage, and it was supposed to be like a community area where people would come together and see it. The day that I saw the first show, which was the opening day, the opening show, I was blown away at how good the show was. The actors on stage were so energetic. They brought the crowd into it. And then like 2-3 months later, I went again and they were the exact same. Like it was the exact same energy. It was this sense of community. It was a sense of excitement and overall just a sense of love for the movie Encanto. It was so popular that in August, they extended the show without really making an announcement about it. And then they extended the show again. And then they made another extension. And then just last week, they announced that it is going to be a permanent fixture at Epcot, which makes me extremely happy because it's just one of those shows that I feel like everyone needs to see because it just brings out a lot of fun. Oh, wait, let's go to our next thing. What's my next thing on the list here? Well, let's go to, we got some popping up here. I love this new version, though I would love some limited time Magic Vacation Hoedown. Yes, 100% agree. If we could bring back the Vacation Hoedown, that would be great. The New Country Beers is your favorite this year. New Frontierland. All the new Frontierland stuff has been a lot of fun to actually watch. I love the D23 Expo and spending a ton of extra time in Dinoland with you. Let's talk about D23 because that's actually on my list. So D23 had a lot of announcements this year. A lot of announcements. We did an entire episode about it, so we're not going to go through every single announcement. But during the D23 Expo, first off, we got some brand new Disney Legends. And in addition to those brand new Disney Legends, we also got some brand new announcements about different movies that are coming in the future. And then more importantly, some new stuff coming to the parks. The announcements that happened at D23 were filled with so much joy and so much excitement until the next day when they announced where they were going, and they were filled with so much hate and anger. It was the craziest turnaround I've ever seen online. I didn't have a chance to go to the D23 Expo, but seeing the announcements about, hey, this is coming, this is coming, this is coming, and everyone's like, yeah, this is the best day of my life. And then the very next day, they're like, so we are going to get rid of the Rivers of America, and people were livid. And here is I've said this multiple times on here before. It makes me mad because I love Rivers of America. I love Tom Sawyer Island. I go there all the time. And it just makes me mad because there's so many people out there who are like, I'm so excited. Or that they're like, I can't believe they're getting rid of this area that I never go to. And I'm like, I go there all the time. And I'm sad about it, but it makes me mad that other people are like so upset about something that they never go do. Go do the things. If you really do love these things, Go do them while they exist. Do not take advantage of these things while they are going away. But with D23, we did get the announcement that we're going to get things like a brand new Cars area, a brand new Villains land. We're going to get a Monsters Inc. land. We're going to get a whole lot of different things coming to Walt Disney World. In addition to that, we had a lot of announcements for Disneyland, like a brand new Coco ride. There's going to be a brand new Avatar area. There's going to be a lot of different things that are going to be coming to the Disney parks over the next few years. And overall, a lot of it's very exciting. We also have a few other things, but we're waiting till the end of the episode to talk about those because those are things looking forward to 2025. So let's go to our next one on the list, which would be a very personal one for me, one that I really, really enjoy. And I brought one of the things over. I should have brought more of the things over. So when I go to Disney every day, there are a lot of different things that I just love to do. I love to go on the rides. I love to go. That's it. No, I love to meet the characters. I love to walk around. I love to take pictures. I love to look at the details. I love so much about just going to Disney every day. However, I have always said that my favorite weekends at Disney every single year happen 4 times at Walt Disney World. The Marathon Weekend, Princess Weekend, the Springtime Surprise Weekend, and the Wine and Dine Weekend. And before 2019, 2018, I can't remember, one of the teens, there was 2 other weekends that I looked forward to so much because it allowed me to fly out to Disneyland. And then the city of Anaheim told Disney that they were no longer allowed to do races in Anaheim. And then Anaheim got a brand new mayor? Question mark? Is that what they're called? It's not a governor. It's a mayor. They had a brand new mayor, and that mayor is a Run Disney enthusiast. And she said, we are going to bring Run Disney back to the streets of Anaheim. So last January and September, we were able to go back and run our coast to coast in both Walt Disney World and Disneyland. What? Personally, for me, this was one of the highlights of the entire year. I absolutely love Run Disney. I know we talk about Run Disney a lot on this show, specifically when we're doing our recap episodes about the race weekends. Coming 2 weeks from now, but we'll do another one. But I've always loved doing the race weekends, and there's just something special about flying out to Disneyland. And 1, doing the parks, 2, running through those parks as well. And it just, that may be my favorite thing that came out of 2024 when it comes to Disney, was just being able to go back to Disneyland and run through the parks again. It just made me so happy to have an excuse to fly out there. And I just love it. I really do love it. I can't put into words. If you've never done a Run Disney race weekend, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. Like, it, number one, it's the main thing that I wear. Like, I haven't bought a shirt in years. Literally, I don't buy shirts anymore because I just get them for free. Well, not free. I'm paying for the race registration, but I literally have my entire wardrobe is Run Disney. But bringing those Disneyland races back, it just meant so much to me. And hands down, I think without a doubt, that was my favorite part of 2024 when it comes to Disney stuff. Just being able to go back out to Disneyland and run once again. It really, truly, 100% made my day. Okay, let's continue on. Although there is one more thing on the list that may top it. We'll get to it. In addition to return of the Disneyland races, we also got a brand new cruise ship, the Disney Treasure. I've not gone on it yet, so I've avoided it. Like I said earlier, I know I'm going to be going on it at some point this year in 2025. But I have been avoiding everything about it. I've seen a few pictures from inside because they just pop up on, social media. I'm like, and I gouge my eyes out because I don't want to see it. But yeah, we have the 6th ship in the fleet of Disney Cruise Line ships, and I am extremely excited to be able to go on it at some point later on this year. But like I said, I've not had the chance to go on it yet. In addition to that, we did get 4 brand new movies. Actually, we got more than 4, but I just want to highlight 4 movies real quick. First off, Moana 2, because I love Moana 2. I love the original Moana, but I also think Moana 2 is a great film. But out of the four films we're going to talk about, I think it is my least favorite. Number 2 on my list that I have on here is Inside Out 2, which is now the highest grossing animated film of all time. it's got it's got Bluey. Oh, Pouchy and Bluey, the greatest characters that Pixar has ever created. I'm gonna watch Inside Out 2 later on tonight because I just want to. Hey kids, and he's just staring away from. Oh my gosh, I absolutely love it. Every time I see them, I cannot control myself from laughter. For we just had 3 people who joined the chat room too, and they probably like who I just tuned in to watch this guy who I've never seen before just laughing hysterically at nothing. Bluey and Pouchy from Inside Out 2. 2 of the greatest characters that came into our lives in 2024, without a doubt. In addition to those ones, Marvel released a brand new film this year, which also broke tons of box office records. It is now the highest grossing rated R film of all time, which was Deadpool and Wolverine. If you are of age to be able to watch this film, I highly recommend watching it. It was just very entertaining, especially if you are a big Marvel fan. There are so many different callbacks to previous Marvel projects that I think it's just a great film overall. If you're not of age, wait till you're of age, and you will appreciate it more when you are older. Oh, Pouchy! Pouchy is just the funniest character. Pouchy and Bluey. Oh, the world would be a better place if we had more Bluey and Pouchy in there. In addition to those movies, there is one more movie that I want to highlight. I have highlighted it before, but it is without a doubt not just my favorite Disney movie that came out in 2004. It is my favorite movie that came out in 2024. There was a lot of good movies that came out this year, but none of them hit me as amazed. Amazed? Is that the word I want to look for? It hit me emotionally. It hit me with fascination. It hit me with awe. It hit me with lots of different things. But the movie is The Young Woman of the Sea, starring Daisy Ridley, aka Rey from the Star Wars trilogy. This movie, if you've not seen it, it's on Disney Plus. It is one of the most inspirational movies I have ever seen. I personally loved it. I have said this multiple times over the last 15 years when we've been doing this podcast. One of the things that Disney does best when it comes to movies is doing a movie based off of a true story. Things like Miracle, Remember the Titans, Candle Shoot. Not going to Candle Shoot's not one. It's just a great movie. But there are so many great movies that Disney has done that are based on true stories. And it truly just, there's something about this movie that as soon as I finished it, I was like, I need to learn more about Trudy. Like I need to learn more about this person and who they were and how they, how much of this was true and how much of this was made up for dramatic purposes. And a lot of it was true. And it's just such a great movie. So if you've not seen The Young Woman of the Sea yet, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. Like I cannot stress this enough. I do think without a doubt, no joking aside, this was the best movie I have seen. I completely forgot it's Wednesday. My bad. It's called The Young Woman of the Sea. So it's the very true story about the first woman to ever swim the English Channel. And it's amazing. Like it's absolutely amazing what she overcame to get there. And I mean, I'm not going to go through too much stuff about it, but just it's on Disney Plus. It was actually made specifically for Disney Plus, and then they realized that there was actually a chance that it could be Oscar worthy. In order to be nominated for the Oscars, you have to have it in a theater for at least a week or two. And I made sure that I went to the theater that first day that it came out, and I was blown away. There was like me and like 10 other people in the thing. I immediately was like, I need to watch this movie again. And as soon as it came out on Disney Plus, which was like 3 weeks later, I watched it again, and then I watched it again. I've watched it like 4 or 5 times. It's just so amazing. That movie is phenomenal. It's just such a great film. Oh, I love it. I just absolutely love it. If you've not seen it, 100%, The Young Woman of the Sea, best movie, in my opinion, that came out in 2024. Not, and again, not just Disney movie, any movie. Like, I truly believe that that movie should win the Oscar for Best Picture this year because it was just such a great film. Great film. Okay. Um, what's the, we got Tion's by Canto. What else did we miss? Oh, the last one is probably our most recent thing that happened that came out in 2024 with Disney, and hands down, this I know I said Run Disney was probably my favorite. I think this was probably my favorite thing that happened in all of 2024, because there was a lot of amazing things that just kind of built up to this one specific thing, and when you go through and see some like really, I mean, there's just so many really cool things that have happened with Disney this year, but this one, in my opinion, just takes the cake. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a book. So this is a closer look at the Animal Kingdom's Dinoland USA. This book was released yesterday, December 31st, 2024, and I am so proud. I'm like I don't want to sound braggy. That's braggy. I don't want to say it braggy, but I am so insanely proud of this book. I am so proud of this book because when they announced that Dinoland was going to be closing up in September of 2023, I immediately drove over to Dinoland. Like, like I'm not even kidding. I literally like put my clothes on. Well, I was probably wearing clothes, but I put like my shoes on and I drove straight over to Disney's Animal Kingdom that day and made sure that I would go through and put this book out there. If you don't know my connection with Dinoland USA, shame on you. No. My connection with Dinoland USA is this dinosaur, or actually Countdown to Extinction. It was the very first attraction I ever did at Disney's Animal Kingdom. And when I moved here and I started doing just in-depth research about everything Disney, one of the areas that I spent the majority of the time in and falling in love with was Dinoland USA, because there are so many different details in there. There's so much of a backstory that most people just don't know about. And there's so many little connections. Like, there are so many different connections from one thing to another thing to another thing, where everything in this land is just, it's a massive, like, to sound very like it's like a massive tapestry. I don't know why I'm doing the wave. It's like a massive tapestry that goes through and tells so many things. And as soon as they announced the idea, not the idea, they announced that Dinoland was going to be closing down, literally, I was in this chair right here. I got up, I put on my shoes, grabbed my keys, went out the door, locked the door, walked down the stairs, went to the car, opened up the door, started the car. Vroom. You don't need to know the whole play-by-play, but I just gave it to you. And I went straight to Dinoland USA. And while I was walking through the land, I was just looking around, and all I could think was, I've always, and if you go back 15 years ago and you watch 25-year-old Brent, that's crazy. That was, wow. Okay, but if you watch 25-year-old Brent doing the Wednesday show, there were times where people would talk about, what books would you like to write about Disney? And multiple times I said, I would love eventually to write a book just about Dinoland, about the details, the story, the history, everything that's in that area. And while I was in that land that day in September, I was just walking around, looking around, and I was thinking, I want to write a book about this. If I don't do it now, I can never do it, because there's so many details to take in that if I'm not actively writing a book about it right now and looking around, I'll lose it. Like, there's no way for me to go back and say, wait, what was on this wall again? Like what, what was so unique about this section right here of the store? And so I started writing in September of 2023. I was doing tons of research. I was going to Animal Kingdom twice a week, at least twice a week, if not more, just specifically to go over here to Dino Land USA. But while we were on this topic right here, I want to just point out a few other really cool things about this entire thing, because like I said, I'm very happy with the final product. I'm very proud of what happened. But I want you to look at this cover right here. Can we zoom in at all? I don't know if I can zoom in. I can zoom in. Oh, but not well. We'll just stay how it was. We can zoom in a little bit more. So I want you to take a look at this cover here. So the person who I was originally going to have do the cover, unfortunately, they just couldn't do it. And so because of that, I was at a confusing point of how on earth or who on earth can I have do the cover of this book. And I had told my parents about it, and they said, we're not, like you're going to figure something out. Like just, try to look around and figure out who. And that was a few days before Thanksgiving of 2024. And I guess they were talking about it at Thanksgiving. And while they were talking about it, because they live up, in Wisconsin, and my niece, who at the time was 9 years old, now she's turned 10 since then, but she stepped forward and she said, do you think Uncle Brent would let me do the cover? And every person I've told that to has like had the reaction of like, really? You let a 10-year-old do your cover? And I was like, no, she's a good artist. So I sent her the picture of the bridge, the Olden Gate Bridge there. And yeah, it's one of those things where I'm so excited about the fact that not only did I write this book, but my niece, who I love dearly, all of my nieces and nephews, I just absolutely love. But the fact that I'm going to have this connection to my niece for the rest of my life is just it's so cool. It is so cool. I like, it's, in my opinion, I think it's just the coolest thing. So yeah, she did an amazing job. I talked to her 2 days ago was when she finished the cover, and which that was the only thing we were waiting for on the book. We just had to get the cover to the publisher, and then we could get everything set up here for printing and Kindle and everything else like that. But yeah, so the book is done. We've had so many people who've asked about it. I've had a few people who I work with who said, it's taking you a lot longer to write this book than I thought it was going to take you to write. And I'm like, yeah, it's very in-depth. So when the paperback comes out, this one right here, this is the Frontierland book. This is about 150 pages with, like introductions and all the other stuff that don't have page numbers. It's about 150 pages. This book, A Closer Look at the Animal Kingdom's Dino Land USA, is 181 pages. So it's going to be a little bit longer, but we go into so much detail. It is available on Kindle now, and that's the other thing that I just want to talk about before we go on to our next thing that happened this year. But I am also so insanely happy, and I'm so afraid it's going to switch over right now that I'm doing it, but I'm so insanely happy that right now we are the #1 book in new releases in Florida travel guides. And if you've watched my Instagram stories, or if you joined it right at the start of the show, my goal is to be #1 in the United States. So if let's click here. If we go to United States, you can see that unfortunately there's a Universal book that's #1. Ugh. But we got things like Detroit's ahead of us, Boston's ahead of us. And then here we are at number 13, which is exciting because at the start of the show, I looked right before we started the show and we were at number 14. So we've moved up one. So keep on spreading the word, let your friends know. And maybe, just maybe, we can move past this lousy Universal book. Maybe it's a great book. I don't know, but maybe we can move past that. So keep on sharing with your friends, letting them know. But yeah, I'm very happy with this. I'm very proud of it. I am just, it's been a very long process. There's been a lot of effort put into this book. So um, if you're interested, it's available on Kindle now. That's all I'll say. And just and I know this is asking a little, not a whole lot, but if you guys could share it on Instagram, like on your Instagram story, even just so, even if like 2 more people see it, that'd be amazing. Or if you share it on Facebook, or if you've read it, I know there's a few people out there who have read it. If you have read it, if you could just give it a review, preferably 5 stars. 4 or less, just ignore this comment. But I am so happy with this book. I love the book. Eric said he's finished it today. I've already had 3 people yesterday who wrote saying that they read it within the first 3 hours that they got the book. So thank you. I'm so proud of this book. I'm so grateful that I am the first person to have a book out there about Dinoland USA, and possibly the only person to have a book that's solely about Dinoland USA. So with that being said, that wraps up our 2024 recap. So let's look ahead to 2025. Now, like I said, there are a few things that happened during the D23 Expo where they talked about different things coming to the future of Disney parks. Some of them we already knew about, but let's talk a little bit about the things that are coming. Starting off in later this year, in winter of this year, we will be getting the brand new Zootopia show over at the Tree of Life Theater. This entire show is going to be a 3D experience called Zootopia, Better Zoogether. And yes, I am very sad that we are going to be saying goodbye to It's Tough to Be a Bug, because I personally love It's Tough to Be a Bug. I think it is one of the most underrated attractions at Disney's Animal Kingdom. But with It's Tough to Be a Bug going away, at least we will still have something in the Tree of Life that is going to be a 3D experience. And I really hope that somehow we get to keep It's Tough to Be a Bug in some capacity, whether it's on Disney Plus or different things like that. But we will see what happens in the future. In addition to that, we are going to be getting a brand new ship in November of this year, the Disney Destiny, the 3rd sister ship for the Wish and the Treasure, which came out just last week. Was the preview cruise? Yeah, last week was the preview cruise. So we're going to be getting a brand new ship. Like I said at the start of the show, my goal is hopefully to get a press pass before then. And that way maybe we can share that experience. I can bring you guys on virtual tours of the ship and just try to figure out as many fun facts about that most people just are completely ignoring. And we'll be like, hey, look at this over here, instead of being like, hey, let me take a picture of myself in front of this ship. I'll do that too, though. In addition to that, here at Walt Disney World, we are going to be getting 2, not 1, but 2 different brand new lounge experiences. We're going to be getting the Spaceship Earth Lounge over at Spaceship Earth. Who knew? This lounge is going to be overlooking the backside, kind of near the Walt statue, and taking a look out into the future. Well, not the future, but it's going to be taking a look towards the World Showcase area. This lounge is going to be more modern. It's going to be more chic. But it looks like it's going to be a nice lounge, and that will be opening up sometime later on this year. It's not the thing that I'm most excited about. In fact, it's probably the thing I'm least excited about. But I'm still looking forward to checking it out at some point, because I have to go everywhere at Disney at some point or another in my life, or the world just doesn't make sense. In addition to the Spaceship Earth Lounge, we also are going to have a Pirates of the Caribbean bar/lounge found in Adventureland by Pirates of the Caribbean. This is actually already under construction. This is going to be opening a little bit later in the year. The Spaceship Earth one's supposed to be opening up in spring. This other one is going to be opening up, they say, in either late fall or early winter. But again, it looks like a great bar. It looks like it's very interactive. They did downplay the concept art from the original concept art to the new concept art a little bit. The original one looked like it was like full-on Pirates of the Caribbean. This one still looks Pirates of the Caribbean themed, but more organized. And that makes me a little sad. I was hoping that we're going to get something similar, and maybe we still will. But I'm hoping we get something similar to Trader Sam's Grotto which is over at the Polynesian, because I think that bar. I'm not a bar drinker, or no one drinks bars. I'm not a drinker at all, and going to bars, I don't really enjoy doing it all unless like I'm with a bunch of friends. But I like Trader Sam's. I think Trader Sam's is a really fun area. It's got so many different details in there, which is the things that I kind of love to take a look at. So I'm hoping that we get a ton of details inside of this Pirates of the Caribbean bar as well, and we can just kind of get lost in there. In addition to those things, I think the most exciting thing that's going to be happening at Disney parks this year does not happen here at Walt Disney World, but it's going to be happening over in Disneyland instead, is they announced during the D23 Expo something that's never been done before. We are going to have a brand new attraction at Disneyland itself, where we are invited into Walt Disney's office and have Walt Disney, in audiomatronic form, talk to us and tell us about his dreams, his visions, and just his ideals of life. It's going to be in the same location where we have great moments with Mr. Lincoln. Eventually, what's going to happen is if you go at like the, let's say 9 o'clock show, you'll have the Walt Disney show. Then at the next 9:30 will be the Abraham Lincoln show. And it's just going to be rotating throughout the day. So parts of the day, you'll be able to see Abraham Lincoln. Parts of the day, you'll be able to see Walt Disney. Or maybe it's the first half of the day is one and the second half of the day is the other. But overall, I think it's going to be one of those things that I am just very excited about. I can't wait to experience it. Unfortunately, I won't be able to see it this month when I go, but I will be able to see it in September when I am back for the Halloween races. So I'm very excited for that. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in 2025, but do we do this? Let's do a poll. Yes or no? Just say yes or no. That's all we're looking for. We're losing people right now. We're just going to do a simple poll, yes or no. Do we say the last thing? Because I'm afraid if I say it out loud, then it's going to happen. But if I don't say it out loud, then it may never happen, and then I might kick myself for the rest of my life. Maybe not the rest of my life, but we'll see. we got a yes. We got a yes. The chat room is quiet this evening, which is fine. You guys can be quiet every now and then. We do have some people watching, but so you guys are saying yes. So let's say yes together. So we've had a lot of fun. We've had a lot of fun over the last year. Like I said, there's been a lot of different things that I've been extremely proud of, a lot of different things that we've done over the last year that I think have been a lot of fun. But like I said, the thing I'm most proud of is finishing up this book. Like just being able to finally finish up Dinoland USA. It just makes me so happy. And I think the only thing that we could do to make 2005 a little bit better for the Disney fans is this. We are going to try. I don't know if we'll be able to succeed, but we are going to try to have it so in the year 2025, my 6th book will come out. A closer look at Disney's Hollywood Studios, Grand Avenue, and Muppet Courtyard. I'm not making any promises yet, but I am so insanely happy and proud of the way that Dinoland came out that this just makes the most sense. That before this land disappears, we need to cover it. So here we are, a closer look at Disney's Hollywood Studios, Grand Avenue. But I know what you're thinking. Okay, anyone can write something like that onto a website and make a little promise. So here's an introduction to. We have an introduction of the book. So there. We're going to be working on our next book. 2025 is my goal. Again, I made the promise last year, or not last, well, yeah, last year. In January of 2024, I sat right here in the seat and I said during the very first episode of the Wednesday show in 2024, I promise you, without a doubt, we will have a brand new book, a closer look at Disney's Animal Kingdom's Dinoland USA out by the end of the year. And guess what? We did that with 12 hours to spare. We're going to try to do that promise again. So that is what I'm putting out there into the universe. I'm exhausted from the last one, so we're going to take a little break. Right now, we're going to focus on sales of the Dinoland book. But while I do a 2 to 3 week recovery of just relaxing and also, going out and do the Adobe Challenge next week, we are going to slowly get back out into the world and work on a brand new book all about Grand Avenue, because that is technically part of the Muppets Courtyard. And we're going to go into a deep dive about the entire area before it completely demolishes to make way for Monstropolis. So there we go. Book number 6. I am a one-man show. I hope we can do it. But yeah, just keep on spreading the word about the Dinoland book. I am so proud of the Dinoland book, but I am also going to be working now frantically on the Muppet book as well. So I put it out there. You can do with that with what you want to do. It shouldn't be as big of a book, I'm assuming, but at the same time, I knew the Dinoland book was going to be long, but I didn't think like, Restaurantosaurus is going to be like the longest chapter of all time. And Restaurantosaurus is like the longest chapter of all time. So, yeah. And yes, a book about the Royal Flush, Gonzo's Royal Flush, which has some really cool, fun facts about it, too. There are so many cool things inside of that area. Not just the bathroom, but we are going to do a book about Gonzo's Royal Flush, a.k.a. the bathrooms. It's going to be called A Closer Look at Gonzo's Royal Flush, plus the rest of Muppet Vision. All right, let's check the score here. Has anyone here? We're gonna bring you guys on this one here too. Yeah, a book about the Royal Flush. I think that's funny. A book about the Royal Flush. All right, let's take a look here together once again and see where we are at. Okay, as you can see there, we have it. So that Universal Studios book, I just want to bring that down so bad. We are still at number 13 after the show. If we can get a few more 5-star reviews, we could slowly move up here. So keep on spreading the word, keep on sharing, keep on carrying. Look at this book. This book's number 8, and it has only a one review, and it's a 1-star review. Are you kidding me? Experience Hawaiian Islands like a local. Apparently it's not a good book. Holy cow. Look at that. That's funny. Oh, thank you guys. I would have been heartbroken if the very first review I had was a 1-star review. I one time had it so someone was mad at me, and I don't know who it was. Oh, I have an idea of who it was. There was a few people that found out about my books, and they said, I'm going to ruin your life. And they wrote this terrible review about my first book, and I did not sleep for like a week. I did not handle bad criticism at all. Okay, but we are going to be wrapping up this episode right here. As always, tonight's episode is sponsored by our Patreon pals. If you're one of our Patreon pals out in the chat room right now, give us an oh yeah. Okay, before we wrap up here tonight, thank you guys, everyone, so much for an amazing 2024. 2024, it had its ups, it had its downs. There was a few really sad parts in my personal life that happened. But at the same time, coming back here and doing the Wednesday show every single week was truly, it's still, even 15 years later on, it is still a joy. It's still a privilege. It is still the thing that I look forward to most in the week. I literally, every single week, I cannot wait for Wednesday because I just love sitting here and talking to all of you. So thank you so much for making 2024 such an amazing year. I hope that you guys join me for all of 2025 as we look ahead into the future. Keep spreading the word about the Wednesday show, about From Screen to Theme, and of course, about the brand new Dino Land book, which is number one. I get so happy when I think about the fact it is number one in new releases in Florida books or books about Florida. That just makes me so happy. So thank you so much to everyone out there who has purchased the book or has spread the word about the book or has left a review about the book. I cannot wait. We hopefully will have the paperback copies in our hand next Wednesday when we do the show. I'm crossing my fingers that we have that and we can go through and share that detail with you. So make sure to join us next week. As always, remember that anything can happen, including writing a book about Dinoland USA, if you let it. Have a great week, everybody. Bye-bye. Goodbye now. Goodbye. Bye-bye now. Goodbye. Are they gone? Are they gone? Oh, good. My cheeks just can't handle this kind of pressure.